Hello, I'm Zep. Today we're just gonna do what I call a meme redraw. So when I take characters that I like, in this case from D. Grayman, and draw them onto images that I think are funny. And in this case, this image from Unis Honest with Markiplier and Ethan Nestor. Just thought it would be fun to try to do a no cuts, like cut and dry type of video where you guys get to really see my thought process. I don't talk very much while I draw because who does? So this is gonna be a pretty new thing for me. So I'm just hoping that it goes well. You may hear the occasional clicking in the background because I'm trying to switch to a different YouTube video or a different playlist of something that I want to play. All right, let's get started. This is the pencil that I'm using. It's the Mitsubishi Vermillion and Prussian blue pencil. So you can see that it has a nice red and then a pretty warmer blue, but it's pretty dark. So let me swatch those out for you guys real fast. What I love most about these pencils is how they feel. You can see that this blue is pretty dark, but that's what makes it really nice to use when I'm shading. Swatching this palette also helps me kind of dull my pencil because I like working with a softer edge. Like a lot of artists, I like to start out with the head. No, this is terrible. This is terrible. Okay, I guess we're just kind of having to commit to this one. Might just be a little funny with the crop. I just felt that I maybe put his head a little bit too high up on the canvas, but given where Ethan is sitting on his back, try to get the angle of the head done. The pro and con to this pencil is that it is difficult to erase, so it means that I either have to commit or just start over on a drawing, and in this case I already got too far for me to want to start over. I think I put his arms too far over. Oops. See, you can see that even with this kneaded eraser, it just doesn't erase very much. So this might be a little messy in the end, but I think that's what's fun about these pencils. Mark's head is huge. It's also just really beefy. This is not going to be perfect by any means. I just thought it would be a fun little video to try out. Try to talk during my art process a little bit. Film myself. Get a video up. You can see his butt's right there. Try to get some lines in there to indicate where the face is. Guess we're just gonna have to commit, so this might be a little wonky, but that's all right. You may hear the occasional squeaking, and that is just my chair. I love this chair, but it is makes a lot of noise sometimes. There's a bit of a line where his other arm is gonna go. I don't know why I chose such a hard pose. The other one that I chose was a lot more vulgar and provocative. I tried doing a video for that one, but I realized partway through that it was just the part was pixeled off because it was censoring something, and that just wasn't gonna work out. Trying to draw that. Part of it is I'm not really warmed up properly, so I'm a little bit more hesitant than I would be if I had been warmed up. Make sure the back's straight when bending over like that. My God, I hate this. This is not going well. Should have warmed up before. Of course, I didn't space this out properly, but we'll just deal with that later. And then there's like, I think it's dry ice or something. I forgot what this Unis Honest episode was about. I have an entire folder dedicated to images that I want to redraw, and I call them the meme redraws, hence this video. Part of this is just I'm anxious about being filmed right now. But this could be a good exercise for me mentally. Let's try to move that leg a little bit. Let's try to get the face in. The way that I usually do the faces is that I usually lay down the eyebrows, because the eyebrow angle will definitely give you a good idea as to where the eyes will sit in relation to on the whole face. And the ear sits pretty high up here. This is a difficult expression to draw. Eyebrows are too thick, I'm sorry. And then I start with the hair. Cross-Marion's hair is pretty fluffy in my style, so. Another challenge with this pose is like trying to place certain parts of the body, like where I would draw the clothing. And sometimes I would get just frustrated, so I would just move on to a different part of the body and work on that. I'm not sure what expression to be giving him, so I'm just going to be working from the reference photo again. Nea's hair is a kind of an anomaly in my imagination. Even in canon, it's drawn pretty similarly. I feel like as of late, it's been turning out different every time I draw it. This pencil dulls pretty fast, as you can see, so I have to sharpen it every so often. I got this little pencil sharpener off of Jet Pens. I hope you can see that okay. But it works great. The only thing is that it doesn't catch any pencil shavings, obviously. And because these leads dull so easily, I go through these pencils really fast. I have an entire box sitting right here of these pencils. Oops, dropped something. And this is the round barrel ones. They're the exact same, except the shape of them is different. But I got a box of these octagon shaped barrels. But the round barrels look quite nice as well. And this is like a 50-50. They also come with one that has a longer red than it is blue. Not even sure what for expression to be giving. Nah, it's just hard to draw that expression. Not even sure what that is. It's like screaming, but should probably add these other barrels too. This drawing isn't anything serious. It's just me trying to combat the art block that's been beating my butt for a while now. Gotta draw cross Marions, copious amounts of belts and buckles. Getting his shoes in there somewhere. What's fun about these pencils is that I like doing them on toned paper as well. Like in this example here, I use the highlights and colors, the color of the paper as the skin tone, and then use the red to kind of give that blush, and then use a white charcoal pencil to go over it in white and add highlights. I am not good about talking about my art, so this is a big, brand new exercise for me. Okay, this is about as satisfied as I'm gonna get with this drawing, so I may as well just try to move on to using the blue pencil. Going over it again in this blue pencil also allows me to define certain features that were a little bit harder to see, like his facial expression. It's kind of like lining it without really lining it. You can kind of already see the effect that it gives. Sorry, I don't talk too much during my videos, so this is a challenge. Please feel free to comment below if you want me to talk about anything in particular or my opinions on certain things. I'd be glad to try to discuss those while doing a drawing. I think that'd be really fun. Again, this is entirely an experimental thing. I just really wanted to try to draw and film something this week. See, it allows me to kind of define his fingers better here over here. I just realized that I made his arms way too big, but we're just gonna deal with that. I always found that drawing ears was fun. Maybe not this side, but I've noticed that a lot of different artists draw ears differently, so I've always been able to distinguish a fan art from a canon art typically by how the person draws the ears. Because even some people that are really good at mimicking mangaka style, they draw ears differently. And then once I'm satisfied with the sketch, I go over and start actually coloring things in. What's really convenient about these characters that I love so much, Vermillion and Nea D. Campbell, is that they are red and blue. So I have a dark blue and a crimson red to work with when doing these little doodles. So it just works out kind of nicely. Try to get Nea's pant line in there. I forgot Nea's little ribbon that he wears. Finally starting to color Nea's hair. You can see as things are starting to come together now why I love this pencil so much. And at this point, I just kind of go back and forth between whatever I feel regarding tones. Because this blue can also act as like a black, so as I'm coloring the black waistcoat, and his pants. This wasn't supposed to be anything serious. Just thought it would be fun to try filming something a little sillier. Especially because I'm just struggling a lot with my serious art. To be honest, I don't really like this very much, but we're just gonna work with it and see what we can come up with in the end. I just feel like his knee is just a little bit too far out, but that's where it is in the reference photo, so. And sometimes if I'm feeling it, I actually try to shade with the red, as opposed to just scribbling in the colors, like here for the belts. Gotta do each buckle, I guess. Try to get some of that smoke in there, that steam. If anybody remembers what Una's Honest episode this was, please let me know. I just have this saved from 2022. So at this point, I'm just kind of touching things up, adding color. And the way that I can produce a darker black is if I go under with the red, like red when I was working here. Because if I go over it with the blue, it turns out a lot darker than what the blue would have by itself. So allowing me to layer like that gives me a darker color altogether. And at this point, you can kind of see how dull my pencil's gotten on both sides. But I feel like this is when it's the most fun to color with. So we're just going back over, darkening some of these darks with the red, because then if we go over it again, it gives off a darker color impression. And sometimes with these doodles, I like adding a nice aqua color. Let me just see if I can pull this color out real fast. You might have seen with my previous drawings that I use this nice aqua color. This is Prismacolor, and you can see that I've used this pencil a ton. But I like to typically do it and save that for more so my toned paper drawings. Put that away. And at this point, I just kind of go back and refine little details. See, we're darkening some lines here to kind of further define certain parts in the face and in the hairs. You can see with how dull this pencil is now, it just gives like a really nice, smooth, creamy lay down when laying my colors down. finally adding some details into the boots. Just realized that I ignore that. We're just gonna go with the flow here. Just go back with my kneaded eraser to kind of cover up erase the spots that my palm smudged. And then just go back over them with a pencil. Try to get some wispies in there. I need to draw more of Nea's hair flying wildly because of the fan. Kind of neglected to do that at first, but that's all right. Just trust the process. Just trust the process. And to finish off my drawings, what I like to do is I like to do these horizontal or these vertical lines to kind of add a bit of color to the background. Typically, I like to do this when the pencil is sharper, but and then I like to go back and add some diagonal lines. This just gives the background a little bit of character, some texture. And you can see that the density of the diagonal lines is heavier as things get darker, and then they're just lighter and scratchier as I go up to where the light source is. And then I just continue to keep working. Sometimes I don't like how it looks if there's just the blue pencil, so I try to go back and add some red in there just so it makes the lines a little darker and a little bit more colorful. Okay, well, I suppose that this is as done as it's gonna... Oh no! Oh no! Oops. Little mark right there, whoops. I guess this is as finished as it's gonna get, so I'm just gonna thank you all so very much for watching. And if you want me to do these videos again, please consider subscribing. Bye!